We're here with a quick take on economics. We're talking about racism, talking about football, La Liga, right? Check it out. Economist Gary Becker, in he did extensive studies on racism, prejudice, the economic cost of prejudice, and this is what he found: that if firms are prejudiced, right? Given that sometimes people want to work with certain type of people, and they have a prejudice against other kinds of people, right? This prejudice, Gary Becker found, can have implications on the economic implication on the firm's operations. How? If the firm, the employer, the entrepreneur decides that he's going to look for employees strictly on, say, let's say a racial basis, for example, his firm is going to be less efficient. Why? Because he has effectively reduced a pool of candidates from which to select. He cannot offer the lowest market wages, right? The lowest being what is the market wage, right? He has to pay those workers higher. You know, let's say, for example, he is running a retail shop. He's selling electronics, right? Now he's going to have to pay his employees a bit more so that he can maintain that selection of specific racial or ethnic group, right? But if he widens the scope and says, I'm going to employ anyone, I'm simply going to look for the best, the most skilled, then he is going to what the result, what Gary Becker found, right, is that what you are going to have is a more efficient firm, right? Because now you can pay the market wages for the highest skill that's available, because now you're selecting for skill. You're not selecting for ethnicity, which has well, unless you do find that in your own research or someone has done research that shows that maybe that there's some correlation between skill and ethnicity. But this is the main finding. You are going to get more efficient market outcomes if you are not prejudiced, right? Now think about what that means for football, for example, right? If football, if Spanish football, for example, decides, now look, this is given that European football is some of the most advanced football on the planet in terms of the resources they can deploy, the resources they can mobilize to train up players to an even higher, to play at a very high skill, a very high level, right? That kind of a capital is just not available in somewhere like continent of Africa. Now, given that, if La Liga was to say we're only going to select players from Spain or from a specific region of Spain, what will that mean? They're going to have less efficient outcomes. You're not going to have all the best players from around the world. The reason you can have someone like the individual in question, since I'm not a football fan, sometimes these names escape my mind, but you wouldn't have access to some of the best stars in the world. So one thing that policymakers, that pundits, right, that anyone who feels they have a horse in this race could do, is to say, look, La Liga, change your rules, okay? Make it more evident that make it so that those who are creating difficult working conditions feel the pain to also feel the pain. They're creating frustrating conditions for people who are coming to work every day to play good football, right? And that's what the fans are tuning in to watch. So yeah, that's one way to approach it. Gary Becker, Nobel Prize winning economist, on prejudice and the economic effects of it. Cheers.